Hello everyone, we are Lucas Bacena, Ian Chegaray, Vladislav Korokov, and Lorenzo Diaz. And today we are going to talk about the global warming, specifically about the recent flooding that destroyed the Argentine city Bahia Blanca. First of all, let's talk about the causes of the flooding. The most important thing to consider is that Bahia Blanca is very near two rivers, Sauce and Apostá. In just one day, it rained what it would usually rain in 6 months. So it was an overwhelming amount of water. Additionally, there were deficiencies in the drainage infrastructure, which caused rainwater to stay trapped in the city. Marisol Osman and Silvina Solmon, researchers at CONICET and the University of Buenos Aires, UBA, participated in a study by the International Climameter team that analyzed the March 2025 flooding in Bahia Blanca. The report concluded that the anthropogenic climate change was the main factor behind the event, with only a limited contribution from natural climate variability. According to the study, the meteorological conditions that caused the flooding were up to 7% weather now compared to the past, indicating an increase in precipitation intensity due to global warming.
The consequences of the flooding include 16 dead people, most houses destroyed, health issues, and $400 million for restoration. Tragically, as the search for missing people continued, authorities discovered the body of Delfina Hecker, a girl who had been missing since March 7. Her body was found in the same area which Pilar Hecker's body had been found previously in General Surrey. These discoveries, along with the overall loss of life, highlight the immense emotional and physical toll the flooding has had on the community. Now, what is needed to solve the issue? First, removing the water is crucial. It is vital to drain Bahia Blanca as soon as possible. Then, the electricity system must be checked before allowing the inhabitants to return home. Finally, the support of the state is essential to facilitate the city's reconstruction. The European Union has already donated €250,000 to Bahia Blanca to aid in the recovery efforts, and Axel Kicillof, the governor of Buenos Aires province, has called for part of the resources from the new agreement with the AMF to be, to be allocated to aid Bahia Blanca. Various deputies have proposed declaring a 90-day environmental emergency in the affected areas, which will help facilitate the reconstruction progress. The Argentine government has declared 3 days of national mourning and allocated 10 billion pesos for emergency relief.
Now, let's continue with the comparison between Bahia Blanca and Valencia, a city from Spain that also suffered from flooding. Bahia Blanca primarily suffers from industrial disasters and occasional flooding, while Valencia has faced severe floods like the one in the 1957. Both cities have adapted their infrastructures to mitigate future risks. Bahia Blanca relies on petrochemical industries, while Valencia has better managed its floods with the diversion of the Tura River. In the last 50 years, Argentina has suffered several floods, earthquakes, droughts, and tornadoes that destroyed many cities across the country. For example, in Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, floods between April and May 2024 caused around 200 deaths and displaced a very big amount of people. A report by the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights highlighted that climate change, along with political decisions, was worsened structural vulnerabilities, especially in rural areas and indigenous communities.
The main cause of Bahia Blanca's recent flooding is the increase in average temperature near the surface over the past 1 or 2 centuries. Since the 20th century, the temperature has risen between 0.8 and 1.2 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era. This change has occurred mainly due to increased emission of gases such as carbon dioxide. As climate change continues to accelerate, extreme weather events like the one in Bahia Blanca are becoming more frequent and severe. The flooding was exacerbated by the extreme rainfall 290 millimeters in 12 hours. The city's location near the Napotas Creek and the lack of sufficient infrastructure. Together, these factors underscore the need for improved urban planning and infrastructure to prepare for future climate-related disasters.